Welcome back to another edition of 68 Shining Moments presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Today, we are joined by none other than Tyler Hansbrough.
Having that great season, being Naismith Player of the Year, what was it to make you come back to the University of North Carolina as opposed to leaving and going to the NBA?
Yeah, so my junior year, now it seems like the shift is more players are leaving earlier a lot faster than when I was in school.
Right.
So I think last year I was watching something, there was only one 4-year player taken the whole draft or something like that, the Pritchard kid for the Celtics. But for me, coming back, I was still pissed off about losing in the Final Four. And for me personally, I thought 1 year wasn't going to make that big of a difference. And me and Ty talked about it. Ty was coming back. I felt like, it might have been a little different if Ty, Wayne, everybody were leaving. But, no, we were all on the same page. They were coming back. And so for me, I had talked to Coach Williams and my family. And I looked at some other players. Tim Duncan was a 4-year player. And,
sure.
You can be a good 4-year player and then go on and be a good pro too. And so that was something that really registered in my mind. And so I wanted to come back and, I'd put a lot of work in and I had a lot to prove, and I still wanted to get a title because, if my jersey's on the front row and I don't have a banner hanging, and in my mind, that's, mission's not accomplished. I mean, I didn't come to UNC to hang a front row. I came in to be part of one of the greatest teams to play. And so I wanted that banner on the other end too. So.
Right. So how was your senior year? How was that whole year for you?
Well, for me personally, I started off with a stress fracture in my shin. So I had to sit out early, put too much work in, and got an injury. And it was like a little nagging injury, and I just kept playing on it. And finally one day I said something to the trainer, and we got an MRI, and sure enough, it was a stress reaction, stress fracture, whatever you want to call it. And so I was out for a little bit, and that was really frustrating. Right. But I put a lot of work in, and I came back to school, and I was really discouraged because I turned the NBA down, and the worst thing that could happen was for you to get hurt and basically sit out a large portion of the season. And so I started off kind of hurt and eventually worked my way back in my senior year. And I really felt like our team was so good my senior year that I didn't need to score every single game. It was almost like if Ty was going, I could sit back and kind of do some other things, get a lot of rebounds, play defense. If Wayne was going, and then DG had really stepped on, Danny Green was really playing well. Mm-hmm. And, we had so many role players on that team. Bobby Frazier, who to me is an ultra competitor, he could have started on so many big major D1 schools, but we had him coming off the bench. He was hitting big shots. And Deion Thompson, who is a heck of a player, was starting. We also had Ed Davis coming off the bench. I mean, so we were loaded. We had Tyler Zeller as well. Unfortunately, he got hurt for half the year. But, I mean, that team was so loaded that it was a pretty fun year. And I always felt like we were the best team on the court no matter who we played. And I remember when we started ACC play, we actually lost, our first 2 games. And it was really discouraging, but we figured it out and we had things rolling, and it was a good year. I think something that really helped us for the tournament, though, is losing in the ACC tournament. A lot of people think that's crazy because you never want to lose, but what it did was we lost early, and so we went back and watched the film and kind of figured out what we're not doing right, and we fixed it before the tournament, and so we really got that time to prepare and fix something that was a weakness and really made our team better before the tournament. And I really felt like that was something that helped us go on and win the whole thing.
Man. And so there it was. There in St. Louis.
It was Detroit.
Detroit. How was it when that buzzer went off and you were able to be the national champion?
For me, it was a relief, to be honest with you. There were so many expectations, and I was playing through an injury the whole year. And it was a great feeling because coming off last year, we had lost in the Final Four, and we beat Michigan State in Detroit during the collapse of the economy. And so there was a bunch of people talking about how Michigan State's destined to win the whole thing. They're going to fix the car industry right here at the Final Four. And so we came through there, and we'd already beaten Michigan State by about 20 on that same field, on that same court,
Right.
I think about December. And then coming back and winning the whole title, it was a relief for me because I was done with college. It's the best way to go out. And I know Ty, Wayne, and those guys, you know, Ed was even talking about the NBA. And so it was a good note to leave on. And it also gave those other guys that were thinking about leaving an opportunity to leave, because once you win the whole tournament, and it really makes sense to leave, you can leave college on a good note. But for me personally, it meant a ton to it meant so much to me because all that work I put in up to that moment, from not only from at Carolina, but you know, you're like me. You know, I was sneaking into gyms when I was in junior high that had no AC, sweating, putting in the work.
That's right.
Running in the track in the middle of summer when it's 105 out. And it was like all that stuff had meant something. It wasn't just for me. It wasn't just a meditation session for me to clear my mind and go put that work in. It's that all that work added to something that was more important to myself. Right. And it really made sense at that moment. And, you know, I've been chasing that feeling ever since. Winning like that. And I think as athletes, especially professional athletes, whenever you end your season on a win, it's like something that drives you to get that feeling again. And I would say sometimes not everyone likes winning, you know, but they hate losing more than they like to win, if that makes sense to anybody. Because winning on that last note is a great special feeling, and it makes all that work make sense.
Before we continue that interview, I have to let you guys know that it's that time of year again. We waited 2 years for this moment, and it's finally here. March's biggest tournament is back. Gonzaga is getting ready to run the table. Slippers are being fit as we speak, and our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook, are putting our listeners at the center of the action. How? If you bet $4 on an underdog in a select game this week, and that underdog wins, you win $256. That's right, $256. Here's how it works. Download the app now and use the promo code FIELD68 when you sign up. Scroll through the list of select underdogs, bet $4 on them to win, and cash $256 when they do. There's no better way for you to put your college hoops knowledge to use than to put your money where your mouth is with DraftKings Sportsbook. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and you can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience. So remember, the code is FIELD68. That's FIELD68 to turn $4 into $256. For a limited time only, must be 21 years or older. Restrictions apply. Go to DraftKings.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For the national championship, that's one thing that eluded me, which I always look back and wish that I could have done. But I'm so happy to get all of those components done because that's something that you were chasing. That was something that you wanted for yourself, and then you were blessed to do those things, man. And the greatest part about it is, man, like I said before, you know, I know you may not feel this way, but you know, you're one of the greatest to ever put that uniform on at the University of North Carolina. And I think it's even better when people that have worn that uniform, when they can tell you, hey, man, you're one of the greatest to ever play. Because I think that means something. I mean, it's always great to have people from the outside, you know, perspective and celebrate you. But I think it means a lot to have those guys that have done the same things you've done to celebrate you as well. And I'm here to tell you, man, it was you earned it. You know, it's funny because we've never talked about this. You know what I mean? We've never talked about this. So, you know, man, I'm not your father. I'm just like a big brother, man. But I'm proud of it because like I said, I think back to that conversation that Rashid and I had. You walked out of the gym today, and I said, "Hey man, he's different. He's special." I said, and me and she, you know, we both said, "Hey man, it's something about him that you know, it's he's gonna do something great." You know what I mean? And Naismith Player of the Year, that was awesome. But then also being able to bring a championship, Tyler. Hey man, you know, it's well earned. That's the best way to put it. Well earned.
Yeah, it's man, that means a lot to me, Shammond, that you know, having the respect of your peers, you know, because they know what the work is like. You know, you guys put that grind in, and also players like you that have come before the early stage of UNC, like the Phil Fords, the Worthies, and those guys really set the foundation for guys like me, you know, and the future players that come along. And so to be in that category and get that respect, that means about as much as anything. And North Carolina basketball, we have a strong tradition, and we have a lot of alumni that really care about the program and the direction it's heading and the kids. And so to have that respect from a lot of those guys means a world. And it was, you know, the program, the university, it means so much to me. And it was a great experience. I love everything about it.